Hello. Hello, teacher Gosha. Okay, hello everybody. I'm here. So, I don't normally come on Saturday, but I had some free time. So I am here. But normally I am only online Monday through Friday. Hello, Sammy. Thank you, Al Farouk. Hello, Bellin. Yeah, I like that song too. All right, hello everybody. Again, I'm here. I'm not normally here today, but I'm here right now. So if you have questions, you can ask me your questions or we can talk about something, hopefully something interesting. I get tired of answering the question, how can I learn English? Hmm? Regina, but if you're new, everybody, then you need to just get this file, okay? I'm so tired of answering the questions that I made a PDF file that has all my answers in it. Okay, so if you don't know who I am, get that file. If you want to know my schedule, get that file. If you want to know my YouTube channel and my website and my blog, get that channel. Okay? Or get that PDF. Sorry, get that PDF. Get that file. Right there. All you have to do is copy and paste. It will not work if you just click on it. If you just click on it, it won't work. But if you copy and paste it, then it will. Regina says, I didn't come here to play games. Well, good. That's good. I didn't either. That's the point, is that I have been here for 12 years. I have been live streaming here for 5 years. I have done more than 1,300 live streams. And I'm a real teacher. And I have about 90,000 followers here. So, if you're coming here, then you will learn something if you pay attention. And ask good questions. Ask good questions. You know? Oh, you're also a teacher. Well, then you do understand. Thank you for that, Betty. I appreciate that. Hello, Bliss. Mohammed, I'm not taking stage requests yet. If you have a question, you can ask me here. Maybe I'll talk to some people on stage in a bit, in a few minutes. But I want to chat here first. So if you have questions, just write them. Okay? I don't have a whiteboard. I have many whiteboards. I don't usually use one when I'm teaching here, no. I can share my screen and I can do lots of stuff on my screen. I don't need a whiteboard. I have one. Again, Regina, I have one, but the kind of teaching that I do, I don't usually need one here. Hello, lucky girl. I don't usually teach. Oh, you know, occasionally people will ask me things like grammar questions or something like that, right? And I answer the occasional grammar question, right? But I don't teach grammar lessons here because, well, for a few reasons why. But one reason why is because there are a million resources for learning grammar. If you want to learn grammar, you really just need to go learn it. There is no trick, there is no secret. There are a few books that are better than the others, but grammar is just something you need to spend time doing. That's it. It's deliberately difficult, grammar. Mohammed, get the file that I just put in the chat here. Okay, if you're new, then get the file. Okay, that file I have 4 articles in that file for you. Articles that I wrote about English. The first article is about how to think in English. If you know how to think in English, then you can speak much more easily. So there's an article about that. I have another article about how to learn vocabulary better. People ask me that all the time, so I wrote an article about it. I have another article in there about the 8 parts of language and how you need to know what the 8 parts of language are so that you can study a language properly. Okay, and I can't remember what the 4th article is. What's the 4th article? Let's see. The 4th article is about having the right questions. You have to ask the right questions if you want to learn well. So when you ask a question like, how can I improve my English? That's not going to help anybody. That is not a good question. You know it's not a good question. Just think about it. What if I asked you the same thing about your language? You would say, I can't answer that because that's too big of a question. Okay, so ask good questions and you'll get good answers. Okay, so yes, the link, you cannot just click on it. You have to copy it and paste it into your browser. Copy it and paste it into your browser. Okay? It doesn't just open if you click it. You have to copy it and paste it. Okay? Okay, let me go back and make sure I'm not missing anything. Hello, Carlos. You do your IELTS reading part very slowly. How can you improve this? Betty, the only way to really improve reading is to read more every single day. So you should find as many short reading resources that you can find. Short ones. Okay? Betty, try this website. eslfast.com. That website is a free website. You can use it in China, and it has about 3 or 4,000 free short stories, all the way from beginner level to advanced. I think from A1 to C1. I don't think they have C2, but I think they have C1. Okay? Hello, lucky girl. I love reading books and novels, but I forget what I read when I get to the last chapter, especially when the book is big. What do you recommend? That's an interesting problem. I'm not sure I understand exactly. You forget about the story? Or you forget what happened? How often are you reading? I mean, are you reading like once a week or once a month and in between you forget? Well, that's just because you're not reading, you're taking too much time in between, right? So don't do that. Read consistently with not too much time in between. That's 1. 2, you can make notes. When you read a book, guys, reading a book can be just something that you do for fun, and you just read it. But, you also could try to pretend like you're in a class and read the book like you're in a class. And when you're in a class, what do you do with a book? You talk about the plot. You talk about the characters. You talk about the protagonist and the antagonist, right? You talk about development of the plot in the story, right? Why not do that for yourself? Pretend that you're in a classroom and analyze a book more deeply. for yourself. Okay? That will help. Okay? Can you choose an interesting topic? Maybe. It depends on what your topic is. My problem is I don't use new vocabulary in my sentences. How can I try to use it and make the conversion more interesting and not repeat the same words? Okay, so Dina, I think that context is usually the problem. When people learn vocabulary, they often learn vocabulary without any sense of context. So you learn new words. But when you learn a new word, you need to put that word in a place, okay, in an environment, right? So I want you to think about each word, right? And then think about, where could I use this word, right? So if I say the word, oh, I don't know. If I say the word exuberant, exuberant is a word that means like very exaggerated and kind of excited and full of energy. But it's not a very common word, so I wouldn't use it everywhere. So when I think of the word exuberant, I have to think of, where would I use that word? I might use that word when I'm around older people, more mature people, maybe in a classroom or a school. But would I use that word, if I'm talking to, if I'm teaching a class of first graders, will I use the word exuberant? Probably not. Or if I do, I'll have to explain it because it's a classroom, right? But the point is, when you learn vocabulary, you need to think about, what environment will this word be useful to me in, right? Or environments. Think about a context where your words might be useful. And that helps when you're learning words. You can think about the context and then find the vocabulary that fits that context. Instead of trying to learn words randomly and then figure out what context they could be in, why not choose a context and then find the vocabulary that works in that context? Okay? Which method is used to understand the American accent and how to speak it? Hamza, there are 30 different American accents. Mine is the Mid-Ohio accent. So it depends which accent you're trying to speak. Okay? You also can't speak the words in your heart out of your mouth. Betty, maybe you need more practice with thinking in English. Because sometimes, if you're telling me that you don't know how to say this thing in English, then you need to think about that more often. When you have a feeling that you don't know how to express, that's your homework. Write it down and then go figure it out. How do I say this in English if I want to? And then the next time when you have that feeling, you can. Okay? Okay, and again, everybody, the link that I gave you, you have to copy it and paste it. If you copy the link, then it should work. Okay, and the next question, wait a minute. Okay, the next question. Linda says, I'm often confused about the difference between past perfect tense and past perfect continuous tense. Okay, I'm going to try to explain this. So, first we have present tense. Present tense is now. Okay, right? Then we have past tense. In the past, simple past. Simple past is something that's already finished and done. And we're talking about it finished and done. So, yesterday I ate a sandwich. That's finished and done. It's done, right? That's past tense. But past perfect is talking about things that happened in the past, but they were finished in the past. So you want to talk about when they were finished in the past, right? So you're not using a general sense of just in the past. You want to talk about exactly when. So we have present, we have past, and then somewhere in between present and past, there was something that happened. That is past perfect. Okay? Perfect means completed. The word perfect has two meanings. In the modern English, the word perfect means great, 100%, awesome, no flaws, no errors, no mistakes. It was perfect. That's the modern meaning. But that's not the meaning when we're talking about grammar. When we talk about grammar, the word perfect means completed or finished things. Things that are finished, things that are completed, they're done. Those are perfect things. It comes from the Latin word perfectum. Perfectum means done, finished, completed. So, past perfect things are things that happened in the past, right? It's a completed action, something that you did before another action in the past. So you're talking about two things in the past, but you want to make sure everybody understands they didn't happen at the same time, right? It's possible to talk about something in the past and something that happened after that before the present. Okay? So that is one. Then we have past perfect continuous. Past perfect continuous is talking about things that were... How do I say this? Let me think about my words. These are processes. They're things that are still happening in some way. So think about painting a room. When you paint a room, you could say, I have painted my room. That's finished, right? But if I say, I had been painting my room, we're talking about something that was in the past, but it was still going. It was still ongoing until another point. So, for example, I had been painting the room until my friend called me. I had been painting the room until my friend called me. So, I am here in the present. In the past, I had been painting the room, but then my friend called me. But the room is still being painted, that's why it's continuous. I didn't finish it. I'm still painting. I'm still painting, right? That's why it's continuous. Okay? I hope that helps a little bit. Okay? I know it can be a little confusing. All right, next question. Please be patient. I do try to answer all the questions. In a speaking session, students make a lot of mistakes. Should I stop them each time and correct or leave it until the end to give them confidence? That depends on the situation, Bliss. It depends on how old they are. It depends on what kind of mistakes they're making or how many mistakes they're making. In general, as a teacher, you never want to correct everything. All right? Correction And improvement must happen over time. You cannot walk in and tell somebody, like, put it this way. If you want me to fix your car, you want me to fix your car, and I say, okay, I can fix the car. I'll do that. But if I go to you and I look at your car and I say, well, this is broken and this is broken and this is broken and this is broken and that's wrong and I got to fix that and I have to replace this and I have to replace this and I have to replace this. Before you even start, before I even do anything, I'm telling you everything about your car is broken. You're probably going to say, all right, well, I guess it's not worth it. You're going to say, I guess it's not worth fixing. Right? So when I correct students, I don't correct everything all the time. No, never. No, I will find the corrections that I think are useful at that time. All right? So it's like a hammer. You have a hammer. And when you make a correction on a student, you're hitting them with that hammer. So, think about how much do you want to be hit by a hammer? Right? You don't want to be hit by the hammer, right? So you need to choose when to correct a student. You have to choose the right time to correct the students, all right? And yeah, for a speech thing, what I might do is, let's say it's, they have to speak in front of the class for 1 minute or 2 minutes. Okay, fine. So I'll let them speak the entire time, 1 or 2 minutes, and then at the end we'll talk about what they did poorly or what they could do better. Or sometimes we'll record it. We'll record it and do a little 1 minute video, and then they can watch themselves and see what they think. That's often the best way, is don't correct them at all. I want you to show them what they did and ask them if they think that was perfect or if it could be better. Everyone will say it could be better, and then they have to figure out how. How could it be better? Is it my pronunciation? Is it my vocabulary? Do I sound too nervous? Did I use the wrong grammar? Okay. All right, next question. Do Americans worry about their kids' grades at school? Of course we do, Wilmer. But we don't worry about it as much as you do in China. I do know what I'm talking about when I say this. I'm not speaking as somebody who's never been there or I don't know. No, I used to teach in Taiwan, so I do know what it's like. And no, 95% or 98% of American parents are not as strict about grades as Chinese parents are. But we have other things that we put pressure on our students and our children about. Okay, so for Chinese children, the pressure is almost all about grades. That's almost entirely what the pressure is about. It's about grades. But here, it's not just about grades. It's about grades, and it's about extracurricular activities. Do you do anything? Do you play a sport? Are you on a team? Are you in a club? Do you play an instrument? Are you talented in some way? Do you do something that's interesting? Because anybody can get an A. Anybody can get an A. Anybody can get a good grade. But you need more than grades. You need people who have quality. You need people who have skills and talents. And when you develop a skill and a talent, those skills and talents are what make you understand why you learned in school. The things you learned in school are much more useful to you if you have something more to give, not just knowledge. Knowledge is just knowledge. Anybody can get that. But when you combine knowledge with purpose, that's when you get benefit. But if you have knowledge but no purpose, then you have no benefit. So, what do American parents worry about? They worry about, do my kids have purpose? Do they have purpose in what they do? Are they learning for a purpose? Is there a reason for what they're doing, and will it benefit them? Okay? Wilmer, we have a saying. There's a guy named Rod Serling. He said a great quote that I love. This quote is very, it applies to Chinese culture right now, very much so. He said, being just like everybody is the same as being nobody. And that's what happens in China. In China, everybody's parents put pressure on the students to get good grades. So almost all the students get good grades. And then they all go to a good school. And then they all graduate with a good degree. And then they're all the same. And so nobody is different. And so everybody has a hard time finding a good job. And every company, they don't care about you because they can get another one. You're not special. You are not special. You're replaceable. You're very replaceable because you're just like everybody else. Being replaceable is a benefit sometimes. But is it a benefit to you? Okay? You forget the details you read every day for an hour. Well, that's interesting, Bliss. I think you should start maybe making some notes. Okay? How to start reading. I have zero interest in reading books. I hear podcasts or lectures and everything, but I don't know how to build an interest in reading. Okay, Hajira, I'm going to give you the interest in reading that you need. Here is what you need to know. Please listen to me, everybody. If you see a person in this world today, if they cannot read, they are not able to read. If you see a person in the year 2026 and they cannot read, they can't read a book, they can't read a menu, they can't read a street sign, how do you feel about that person? When you see a person who cannot read any language, how do you feel about that person? Sarah says, I'd like to teach him or her. What if they don't want to learn? You'd find a way. Okay, well, Sarah, I appreciate that you see that this is something that you should help them, right? Because you feel that way because you feel sorry for them, right? You feel sorry for them, like that must be really hard to live in this world today and not be able to read anything. Wow, that must be hard, right? So here's my question. If you meet a person and they cannot read, they don't know how, yes, that is sad. They cannot read. Very sad. But you can read, but you don't. Which one is sadder? The person who cannot read, or the person who does know how to read, but they just never do? I think it's a lot sadder if you can read, but you never do. And here, I'm going to put it to you another way. Do you like being weak? Do you like having no power? Because when you don't know about things, you are weak. And the people who do know about things, they are powerful. So make a choice. Do you want to be weak, or do you want to be powerful? If you want to be powerful, then you will read. And now I want to tell you one last thing. When you read, if I show you a book and it has a language that you have never seen before, if you see a book and it has a language you have never seen before, what does that look like to you? What does that look like to you? If you see some new language and you don't know what it looks like, you don't know what it is, it looks like magic, right? It looks magical, right? When you see some new book with some new words and you don't understand it, it's almost like, wow, that's like magic, right? It looks like a curse, that's right, because we fear something that we don't understand. We fear that thing. So when you learn English, you're studying grammar, right? We talk about grammar, and you probably have a grammar book, right? But there is another English word. There is a word, the word grammar we know, right? You know this word. But do you know this word? That word is grimoire. Grimoire. And grimoire is related to the word grammar. And what is a grimoire? A grimoire is a magic book. Because if you see a book and you don't understand the grammar, then what does it look like to you? Magic. Because language is power. Magic. So if you don't want to read, you don't want power. Language is power. It's right there. Grammar, grimoire. It's a magic book. That's why it's hard. That's why it's hard, everybody. It's hard to be a magician. It's hard to be a wizard. It's hard to be a sorcerer. To be a magician, to have magic, you must study. You must learn. It's difficult. And that is why they make it hard. That's why they make it hard. They make it difficult because they don't want everybody to have the power of magic. They don't want everyone to have that power. So they make it hard. But that's why you should do it. Because they don't want you to have that power. They don't want you to read. Did you ever think about that? Did you ever think that when you say, I don't like reading, I don't want to read, did you ever think that maybe that's what they want you to feel? They want you to think that. Why? Why do they want you to feel like, I don't like reading? Reading is boring. They want you to feel that way. Because if you feel that way, then you won't read. And if you won't read, then you're not a threat. So please, don't read anything. Don't read anything, and you will not be a threat to anyone, because you will have no power. So now do you understand why you should read? You could be a magician. You could be a wizard, a sorcerer, sorceress of language. Because, guys, language is magic. Tell me that I'm wrong. If I say something that's amazing, you go, wow. And then the thing that I told you, you will act on that thing. That is magic. I say something, abracadabra, and now you do it. That's magic, everybody. Language is magic. Reading is part of that magic. Okay? All right. I'm sorry. I'm trying to give all the best answers, so I'm way behind. Please be patient. Is what's better, reading out loud or with our eyes? Both are better. What's better is read out loud, read silently, and read with an audiobook. Do the same thing. Do the same book 3 ways. Read it once by yourself. Read it once out loud. And read it once with the audio. So you just follow and let them read it for you. Do all 3 of those, and I promise you, you will improve. How do I always look so good? I don't always look so good. You're funny, lucky girl. Thank you. Thank you for the gifts, everyone. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the gifts, Andy. Linda, I know that the past and present tense stuff, it's very difficult to get in your head. It can get confusing. I know. It really does just take a lot more practice. Okay, Linda? All right. Hello, Gunter. How are you, my friend? It's also not with just knowledge, it's sad to live a life without purpose. That's true, but I think the majority of people live a life without purpose. I think almost everybody, the majority of people, you have a job, you go to work, but you don't have a purpose behind why you work except to pay for bills. That's not a purpose. Paying for your bills and paying for your things, that's not a purpose. That's why it's so important. If you have a job, you should care about your job. Right now, a big part of the problem in this world, why we have so many problems, is because too many people have a job, but it's not something that they care about. They only care about the money that they get from the job. But you will never have a great world if you only pay people to do things for money. There are some jobs where you should find somebody always who cares, right? Like being a doctor. There should be no doctor should be a doctor for the money. It should not happen. Teacher. You shouldn't be a teacher for the money. You should do it because you care. You should be a doctor because you care, right? So there are some jobs, some professions where we know it matters that you should care. But guess what? It always matters. Every job is done better if you care. Every job is done better if you care. Oh, let's see. Why do we study a language for a while and then just give up? Why do we lose our motivation? Because you haven't found a way to make it practical for you. Find a way to make learning practical, and then learning will become part of your lifestyle. Learning is not just a hobby, it becomes something that you do like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You eat because you need to eat. And listen, I saw a quote just recently. I can't remember who said it. Let me see if I can find the quote. Wait a minute. Great quote. Did I save it? I think I saved it, but where is it? It was something like, I can't remember every meal that I've ever eaten in my life. I can't remember every breakfast, every lunch, and every dinner. But I do know that those meals did nourish me as a person, as a human. They nourished me. And the same thing is true for learning and for studying. I can't remember every book that I've ever read, but I know that they nourished me. Right? So when you think about learning, you need to think about it's just like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You need to eat because you need nourishment. Right now, you're learning because someone told you that learning is something that you do that's extra. No, learning is not something that you do that's extra. Learning is something you're supposed to do every single day of your life in some way. This is my normal teaching speaking speed. When I teach, this is the speed I speak. Okay, let's see. You are welcome, Hajira. We look alike. We do? Okay. How am I always so energetic? I'm not always so energetic, everybody. But when you talk about things you care about, it's natural to be energetic about anything you care about. So that's why you should do more things that you care about. If you do more things that you care about, you will find you have lots of energy. Okay? It's funny how that works. When you have to do something that you don't want to do, I'm tired. But if you have to do something you want to do, suddenly you have the energy. Okay? And then the other thing about reading is there are billions of books, so you should go find the one that's good for you, right? If I go to the mall, there might be 10 restaurants in that mall. Are all 10 restaurants good restaurants? No. Maybe a couple of them are not good. Same thing is true with books. Sometimes you find a book and you read it. It's just not it's not a restaurant you like. Somebody else might love that restaurant, but you don't. So find the restaurant you like. Find the book that speaks to you. Okay? This was a thing. A long time ago, we had these stores called bookstores. A long time ago, we had a store called a bookstore, and you could go to this bookstore, and they had books, lots of books, and you could walk around and look at all the books, and you could take one off the shelf and open it up and be like, I want to read this a little bit to see if I like it. That's the way. All right? Thank you for the gifts, everyone. Gunter, am I mad at you? No. Why would I be mad at you? Why would I be mad at you, Gunter? Ooh, Carlos, that's no good. Colombia is one of the lower average IQs in the world. I mean, IQ is not really the best thing to judge by, but it could be. It could be because people don't like reading. But I mean, I can't tell you this enough. It's very simple. They don't want you to read. That's why you should, because they don't want you to. Okay? But everyone needs money. If you care or not, it doesn't matter. It does matter. It does matter. Okay? Masood wants to know about commas and full stops and semicolons and colons and whatever. And I have a page for that. Let me find it. Hold on. Try this page. That's got a pretty good explanation about commas, colons, semicolons, and dashes. Okay? In my real life, is it my normal speaking speed? Linda, I speak like this anytime I want someone to listen to me. So anytime it's important, this is how I will speak. But when I'm hanging out with my friends, yeah, I probably speak more quickly and I use a lot more slang and I sometimes curse and, you know, so it's not my normal speaking speed. And Hajira wants to know my schedule. The best way to get my schedule is to copy this link. Copy this link right here. That link right there that I just put in the chat. Don't just click on it because it doesn't work if you just click on it. Copy it and then paste it into your browser. That is a file that I made about me. So if you want to know my schedule, you want to know who I am and what I do here, it's all in that file. My website, my blog, and my YouTube channel are all in that file. I have 4 free articles that I wrote in that file about English for you. Okay, so everything that you need to know about me is in that file. Okay? Thank you, Abhishek. Oh, I always like that quote too, Nietzsche. From Nietzsche, Bellin. Most of the time I feel difficulties to understand compound complex sentences. Masood, every compound complex sentence is just a bunch of small sentences put together. Here's what I want you to do, Masood. I want you to write 3 paragraphs. Write 3 paragraphs into ChatGPT about anything. You could be writing a story, just talk about yourself, anything that you want, right? Write 3 paragraphs into ChatGPT. and use simple sentences. Use the simplest sentences that you can. Don't try to make them complicated, okay? But write 3 paragraphs. And then I want you to ask ChatGPT to make the sentences more compound and complex. To take your writing and rewrite it, but make them into complex sentences with compound structures. Okay? Ask ChatGPT to do that for you, and maybe do that a few times so that you can see how your writing can be changed a little bit to become something else, and it will be compound complex. Okay? From simple to compound. Okay? Can I recommend some books for you? I can't, because I don't know you. I don't know what level you are. Are you A1, B1, B2, C1, C2? And do you like science fiction? Do you like drama? Do you like romance? Do you like adventure, historical novels? Do you like nonfiction? You know, science, history? What do you want to read about? I don't know. So what I can recommend is that you should have your own list of books. Why don't you have a list of books? Go make a list of books for yourself. Spend one day and search all day for every book that you've ever wanted to get and make a list. And now you have a list. So next time you want to find something to read, go get one. Okay? Make a list of adventure books. Make a list of science books that you are interested in. Make a list of history books that you're interested in. Make a list of romance books that you're interested in. Whatever. Make a list, and then it's there and ready for you. If I give you my list, that's not helpful for you, because that's my list. All right? Hello, Alexander. Am I still disappointed? Comme ci, comme ça. C'est la vie. It's the way it is. So I'm, I'm not thrilled. You're a beginner. How can you learn English quickly? 非常重要，你需要学想英文。现在如果你想中文，可是如果你要说英文，你需要想英文。现在你不可以说，因为你不可以想的 ，OK？ 所以第一次的你需要学想中文，哦，不是想英文。不好意思。You have achieved your goals from my videos. You got a band 8. Good for you. See, look, it works. All right, so there you go. You've got to cook 9 pizzas, Gunter. Are you having a big party? Do I play guitar? No, I play the drums and I play some piano. Wow, 8.7. Damn, that's a good score. Good for you. Congratulations. Man, I don't know if I could get an 8.7. Okay, and yes, if you are new, you must get the file. If you are new, get the file and read the file. That file, copy and paste it. Copy it and paste it. Copy and paste the file, and then read it. Everything you need to know about me is in the file. Okay? You can't open that website in China. You should be able to. I had other people do it without a VPN. You should be able to. Let me think. Did I put it someplace else? I don't think I have it anyplace else right now. Yeah. Yeah, 8.7. Damn, that's a heck of a score. And I appreciate that you are trying to say that my techniques helped you, but if you got an 8.7, then you did that, not me. I am a big bad egg. 真的吗？为什么你说这个？如果我是坏蛋，你也是。I look younger and handsomer. I took my handsome pills today. Why don't you take handsome pills? You should take them. They're great. Sometimes I wake up and I take an ugly pill, but usually I take the handsome pill. Hello, Miguel. How are you? How? 可是我是英文老师，现在这是我的英文课，所以小心你说什么。Hello, Gray. You're not a big fan of pills. You just keep going. Yeah, I'm kidding. Can I explain the difference between kissing and making out? Kissing is just okay. So a kiss could be a short, very platonic type thing. Okay, you might kiss your grandma. You might kiss your aunt or your uncle, right? Maybe they give you a kiss, okay? But making out, that's not platonic. To make out is when that's a kind of a kiss that's a romantic kiss, okay? And it's usually longer, okay? Now, where did it come from? That's a good question. Let me see if I can find out about that. Well, it doesn't say. It says it comes from around 1939. Let's see. Why did we start saying make out? It came from the 1930s and 1940s. Oh, so the original meaning of make out, this makes more sense now. Make out has another meaning. To make out can mean what was the result or did you have success? Like sometimes we have another thing we say in English, I made out like a bandit. I made out like a bandit. So a bandit means a robber, a thief, a bad guy. right? Someone who's stealing things. Okay, so if I say I made out like a bandit, that means I stole a bunch of things and I got a lot of stuff for free. Okay, so to make out originally means what was your result? Did you have success? Right? So, for example, you could say. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so yeah, the first meaning was to get along and succeed. Like, I made out like a bandit. Or how did you make out means, did you do okay? What was the result? Okay? If you take a test and I say, how did you make out? That means, what was your score? What was your result? Were you successful or not? So then the idea of being successful, it became like, oh, you want to kiss the girl. You want to kiss her. You like her. So you were able to kiss her. So you made out. That's where the idea comes from. So it's originally just the idea that to make out was to be successful at something, and then the thing that you were successful at was kissing your girl. Okay? Yeah. I don't know if they got it or not. Make out is usually longer. Yeah. When you kiss somebody, it's not very long, usually. Okay? But if you say we made out, that means like you're kissing for 5 or 10 minutes. Okay? A kiss is usually quick. But if you're kissing for 5 or 10 minutes, then you're making out. Or sometimes we say you're sucking face. You're sucking face. Yeah. Making out, sucking face. Yeah. Now you're in Germany. Can I provide you some ideas on how to improve your German language? Well, German and English are related a little bit. Mohammed, I did study German a long time ago in high school. I studied German for a few years. It's actually, I don't think it's as bad as many people think. The pronunciation can be a little tricky sometimes, and sometimes their words are really long. Germans love to just take a word and then add another word and another word and another word and another word, and now it makes one long word. I think that the Germans are probably the best at that. Of any language that I've ever seen, I have never seen a language that is so buildable, where you can just take things and put them together, and now you have this long, long, long new word. But what can I recommend? Get some good resources, Mohammed. You know, try to find the same kind of resources that I suggest for English, but for German, right? So find some resources that let you play games to learn German. Find some good books, right? Like I still have one. Let me see if I can find my German book. Oh, I don't know what I did with it. I can't find it right this moment, but What company was that? They make good stuff. Let me think. What company was that? I want to say. Let's see, where was it? Oh, I can't find it. Well, anyway, yeah, honestly, Mohammed, if you've used my techniques to learn English, now just use them to learn German. Do the same thing, but with German. Okay? Almost all of the tips that I give are not really specific to English only. You can use these concepts to learn almost anything, any language, certainly. Okay? We can use make out when you can't identify something. Yeah, it means, again, are you able to understand it, right? So I can't make it out means maybe it's too far away. I can't read it. I can't make it out. Does it say 10 miles or 15 miles? I can't make it out. That means I can't quite see it clearly. I can't understand it. So that means, again, I'm not successful at reading it. So it still has a meaning of success. Okay? You guys are too funny. Yeah, almost every idea that I do for teaching is just, they're conceptual ideas. They're concepts. I'm not a great teacher for the specifics. There are so many teachers that know so much more than I do about grammar and about teaching the little things, the details. I'm really good at the big picture things, the things that make the details easier to learn. I'm weird because I can't do the little stuff unless I can see how it fits in the big picture. That's really one of my big problems as a person is I need to see how everything fits into the big picture. And if I can't, then I don't feel motivated to do something, or I don't feel connected to it, or I don't feel encouraged to do it. But when I can see the connections to something bigger, then I feel like I can act upon something smaller. So, well, good luck to you, Mohammed. Okay, so I've been talking for an hour and 15 minutes. And now I'm tired of hearing my own voice. So now I will say, if you want to raise your hand and come ask me a question on stage, you can. Okay? But I only have one rule. If you want to come talk to me, I'm a teacher. You have a chance to talk to a teacher for free. So don't say, "What's up?" Ask a question. Ask a question. Okay? And yes, don't say bro. That's right. All right? Ask me something that's worthwhile. If you have a chance to meet a teacher and ask them a question, you should ask a good question. Don't ask something like, "How can I be good at English?" That's not a good question. That's not a good question. How can I be good at English? I don't know. All right. Let's see. Let's talk to, is it Fluency? Hold on, let's see what Fluency would like to talk to me about. What Hello?
Here is what is the difference between colleagues and partner?
Okay. Colleague has the word co in it. Co means together, okay? And in this case, it's kind of an interesting word, colleague. I remember I looked up this word recently. One moment, let me look it back up again. Hold on. Colleague.
Yeah.
There it is. So that comes from the Latin word collega, and the word collega means a partner in office. So the word colleague usually is a word that we're talking about somebody we work with, right?
Okay.
Somebody you work with is your colleague. So if you say,
Somebody we work with.
yeah, so a
Okay.
coworker and colleague are almost the same thing. Okay.
Okay.
The only difference is I think coworker is more general. Like maybe you don't really know that person, but you do work with them, so they are a coworker. But a colleague, I would say, is somebody you know. Okay. So if you work with somebody and you know them and you talk about them, then you'll say, I went to this restaurant with my colleague the other day. But if it's maybe a bunch of people from your office or building and you don't know all of them, so you say, we went to a restaurant, all the co workers went to a restaurant. But they're not all colleagues because they don't all know each other. They are all coworkers because they all work at the same place. Do you understand the difference? So
Yes.
colleague is almost more like it implies more of a friendship or somehow a slightly closer relationship. Coworker is just somebody that you work with at that place somehow. Okay?
Okay. I got it, colleagues. But what about the partners?
Yes.
Partners and colleagues. Yeah.
Partner is a much bigger word that could be anything. Partner could be
Okay.
your life partner. That's your wife or your husband is your life partner, right? Or partner in business. Partner in business is like, 50-50. We're going to I make 50%, you make 50%, and we are partners.
No, I don't make 50-50. I make 80-20.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. So that's partners, right? Partners would be up, but see if it's 80-20, then it's not partners, it's more like boss and worker, right? Or boss and
Okay.
employee, right? So partner is more like some kind of a connection that's usually more equal. Not always. Maybe it's 40-60 or, maybe it's 70-30, maybe. But it implies that you appreciate them or respect them in some way so that you're not just like, I'm the boss and you do what I say, right? Like, that's not a partner. When you talk to somebody like
Yeah.
that, that's not a partner, right? But if you talk to somebody and say, hey, we need to work on this together, that's a partner, right? You're in it together, right? So partners are something that you're in it together with that person. It could be a relationship. That's my partner in my relationship. It could be a business. That's my business partner. Okay. Or in English, sometimes we say, we have another term we use, it's a slang term. Maybe I'm talking about my good friend, and I'll say, he's my partner in crime. And it's like a joke.
Okay.
It's like a joke. We're saying we're both criminals together. We both do all the bad things together. He's my partner in crime, right? So a partner is a much more general word, and it has many, many more contexts. You can use partner in many, many places. And it could be something very intimate, like a husband wife,
It is.
or it
It's
could be
not
very.
only related to
That's
business.
exactly right.
It's
Partner is much more
yeah.
general. Yeah,
Yes.
that's correct.
Partner could be anyone.
Yeah, it could be
Uh,
anything that where you're involved together
anything.
in something where you're working together. You want something together. You want to achieve something together. That's a partnership. Okay?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, let me look at that word. Let's see. Partner. Partner comes from French poissonnier to Latin partitionum. So the word partner is related to the word partition, That's interesting.
Partition.
Yeah,
Okay,
a partition
partition.
is a division, right? To divide things,
It's
right?
a partition, room partition,
Yeah, that's right.
partition.
So a
Like,
partner is like, yeah, like this is our room and you have half and I have half. The partition. That's my partner, right? So when you hear the word
yes,
partner has the word part in it. So that means that you two together are a part of something.
yes.
Okay?
I got it. I
Cool.
got it.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah,
Any other questions
yeah.
for me?
No, no, thank you. Thank you for adding me and thank you for giving your time.
No problem.
I
Thank you
really
for
happy today. I really happy today.
it was a nice
I
question.
got a chance. I got a chance to talk to you.
Well, it was nice. Come back and see me again, okay?
Yeah, sure, sure, Mark.
All
Sure.
right.
Yeah.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
my friend. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. So again, colleague is somebody that you work with, but it's somebody that you work with and you know them somehow. You know, that's your colleague, right? The word league, sometimes we say, I'm in league with this person. I'm in league with them means like we're part of a group that does this thing together. Like this is what we want to do together, right? So a colleague is co meaning together. So together you're in league. You're doing something together. That's your colleague at work. Okay? Yeah. So again, coworker is anybody that works with you at the same place. They are co-workers. Co means together. Co-worker. Together you work someplace. Okay? But maybe you don't know them very well, right? It could be a very big building. Maybe there are 1,000 people there. You don't know all of them, right? They are co-workers, but you don't know them. So they are not your colleague because you don't really know them. But maybe you meet them and you start working together a little bit at the office. And now that coworker has become your colleague. You know them more now. Okay? And then partner is more like, think about a business. I want to start a business and I have a friend and he wants to do that business with me. We both like cooking, so we're going to start a restaurant. So we are partners. We're business partners. We both want to achieve something together. Okay? No, colleagues do work in the same company. Yes, you do. So a coworker and a colleague are the same thing. But listen, coworker is somebody that you might not know very well at all. They just work at the same place you do. That's a coworker. Okay? Colleague is somebody who works at the same place you do and you know them. You work with them often. That's a colleague. Okay? I didn't skip your question. I didn't get to it yet, Zachariah. You must be more patient. There are 80 people here. Okay? How can you improve your listening? By listening more. But the big problem is most people are listening to the wrong thing. Don't just listen to anyone. Okay? I can put on words. That doesn't mean that you should listen to it. If I say blah 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 blah, that's listening, but is it good listening? No. So the problem is that you're not thinking about the most important thing, which is if I'm going to listen, am I listening to something good or not? And you don't think about that. You just find something that's English and you listen. But not everything that's English is good. You must find someone who speaks well. How do you know if they speak well? It's very easy. If you hear them, and when you hear them, you think, wow, I want to hear more of that person. I don't even care what they're talking about. I just want to listen to their voice. Listen to that person. Okay? But you don't do that. You go on YouTube and you just find some guy, some guy on YouTube. And then when you listen to some guy on YouTube and you go, oh, I don't understand him. Oh, my English is terrible. Oh, I'm terrible. No, the problem is not you, maybe. The problem is you're listening to just some guy, and some guy doesn't have good English. Okay? So first thing is, when you listen, listen to something good. That's the first thing. All right? All right. And pebble, the word that you are spelling, pebble, is college. College, that's buyang, okay? Colleague is a different word, and where was it? There it is. Colleague. It has C-O-L, call, and then the word league, L-E-A-U-G, L-E-A-G-U-E. Okay, col, C-O-L, and then league. Fabricate and distort. What's the difference? To fabricate something means to make something. So fabrication is a word that's used in factories. Factories fabricate things. To fabricate. Look, it has the word fabric in it. This is fabric. And they used the fabric to make a shirt. They fabricated the shirt. So to fabricate means to make something. To distort is a word that means you take something, like I want you to imagine this. Here is a book. You can read it if I hold it still, but if I go like this, then it's distorted. You can't really read it because it's distorted. Okay? To distort means something becomes unclear in some way. Okay? Distortion can be many kinds of distortion. There are visual distortions, there are audio distortions, there are lots of kinds of distortions. Okay, but to distort something, let me see the original word here. So the word distort comes from the word dis, meaning completely. In this case, the word dis means completely. And then the word torque. Do you know what torque is, everybody? What is torque? Torque. Yeah, it's a kind of force, but torque is a twisting kind of force. Okay? Torque is the kind of force that's like a twisting. All right? So when you have the word distort, the word distort, the original meaning is dis means completely and torque means twist. To distort means to completely twist something. So it means to make something unclear somehow because you're twisting it too much. Okay? But there are many kinds of distortion. right? So, for example, in music, we use this word a lot in music for guitar. When you have a guitar, the guitar can have this very pretty sound. Bum, 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 bum. It can have a very pretty sound, but it also can have that sound that's like, that's distortion. Okay? Okay, Ilsa, you need to read my file. Did you get my file? That file right there. Copy that file and paste it and open that link. 可是如果你是中国人，一些人他们说他们需要用梯子。Okay, so get that file. Okay, get that file. All right, and I'm almost finished here. Let's see. In the file that I gave you, there's an article about learning vocabulary. You need to read my article about vocabulary. Okay? I'll tell you what, I'm going to put it up here too. Let's see, where is it? Here it is, right here. Perfect. This is my article about the best way to learn vocabulary and how you can remember them better. Read this article right here. Okay? The Barron's IELTS book. Yeah, Barron's. There are 3 companies that I like for materials. Barron's, Kaplan, and Cambridge. They all make great materials for studying any test. Okay? So distortion is basically you don't come up with something new, but you actually twist what already exists. That's it. Yes, Akshay. So fabricate means to make something new. So you're lying. You're making a new lie completely fabricated. But to distort means you take the truth and then you twist it until it's a lie, until it's not true, okay? Or until it's changed somehow, okay? To distort the truth, we use that a lot. We say, he's distorting the truth, okay? And yes, torque is a technical word. It's a term in physics, and it's talking about I can't remember the exact wording, but it's basically the movement around. How do I describe it? Hold on, I'll look it up. I don't want to say it the wrong way. Torque is, yeah, it's torsion or rotation. Torsion or rotation. So it's the force that's used in rotation is torque. Okay? Hello, hello, hello. I'm fine. Normal. The link for synonyms is thesaurus.com. They have an app. You should get the app. Just get the app. Thesaurus.com, dictionary.com. Let me see. Oh, this one, everybody. This is the dictionary app that I use. I don't get paid or anything. Okay, it's just called dictionary.com. It has that blue logo. Okay, and this app, if you get this one app, I'll show it to you. Here it is on my phone. Okay, and look, there's the dictionary. But if you look at the top, there is a split screen up here. Dictionary on this side and thesaurus on this side. So if I click this, now I switch to the thesaurus. So I can type in the word sad. And now in my thesaurus, it will give me all the words that are in the family of the meaning of sad. Okay? I know it's not clear. It's called dictionary.com. Go to dictionary.com and then you'll find the link to get the app. Okay? Which country do I like best? Earth. I don't have a favorite country. It's a stupid question. I'm sorry, but there is no such thing as a favorite country, in my opinion. I live on Earth. I live on Earth. You live on Earth. Everything else is not important. I am on a planet that's flying through space. I don't care about the little lines you draw. I'm on a planet that's flying through space. I am a spaceman. That's mine. That's who I am. I'm not living in a tiny little place that's boundaried. No, I'm on a planet that's flying through space. That's me. Yeah, I am universe man. I don't like countries, period. Just the idea, it's always been silly to me. I understand that we need them. I understand that they've been using them for a long time, but I still don't like them. I don't like the idea of them. I think that they divide them. They divide us too much. Am I a cosmopolitan? Well, yeah. You know, it's very simple, everybody. I live on Earth, and I want to appreciate everything that humanity has to offer. Everything that humanity has to offer, I want to know it and be a part of it and understand it. So, when I do math, that requires me to know Arabic culture. When I speak Chinese, that requires me to know Chinese culture. When I eat food, I can appreciate any culture because delicious happens everywhere, doesn't it? If I go to any country, I can find delicious food, right? If I go to any country, I can find beautiful music, right? If I go to any country, I can find amazing art, right? If I go to any country, I can find incredible history, right? I learn all of it. I want to know about all of it. What is the UK's delicious food? Yeah, that's true. The UK, some of their food is kind of nasty. But come on, fish and chips is delicious. And they do have some good pub food, particularly the pub is a very British thing. So, if you want to look for some decent British food, I would say look for pub food. They've got some decent pub food. But you're right, a lot of the traditional food is not so good. But even that is about history. It's even about history, right? There's a great page that I love, Sane. You should go look. There's a page on YouTube and on Facebook and Instagram. It's called Jolly, Jolly, Jolly. And it's these two British guys, these two young British guys, and they usually, most of their videos are them traveling around the United States eating food and trying all the American foods everywhere, right? And it's amazing. But sometimes they also go to Korea, and they do things in the UK also. But yeah, you should check them out. Jolly, Jolly. Jolly. Those two guys are great. And actually, I think they might have been English teachers. I think that at one point in time, they might have been English teachers. That might be why they know about Korea. I think they went to Korea and they were English teachers there, maybe. Okay, and I'm sorry, Alexander, let's see, straighten versus stretching. Straighten just means to make something straight. So if I have, here's a cable, it's not straight, okay, but I'm going to straighten it. Ah, look, I straightened the cable, okay? To stretch, when you stretch a cable, it straightens. So stretching is when you have extra material and you're pulling it until there is no extra material. So right now I could stretch my shirt. I don't want to stretch it out too much, right? If you wear a shirt too much, it stretches out. Okay, so stretching means to expand something more, but straighten means to make straight. Okay? Capacity versus ability. They are sometimes the same. Let me check something. Okay, so ability is more like able. Are you able to do it? So able means more like a doing active skill. Okay, an action. All right, but capacity is more like potential or volume or maximum. So for example, if you go to see a football game and you're in a stadium, the stadium has a capacity of 50,000 people. It has a maximum capacity of 50,000 people. That means the maximum potential is 50,000. Okay? So, ability is just, do you have the ability to fly? Do you have the ability to swim? Do you have the ability to read? Can you do it? Capacity is more like the potential that something has. So, for example, a potential of volume, like the capacity of this container. How much is the capacity of this container? I don't know. Okay? Or the capacity of the stadium, 50,000 people. Okay? Or mental capacity. You could say he doesn't have the mental capacity to understand what he did was wrong. Sometimes somebody will do a bad thing. They did a crime. They committed a crime, right? But maybe they have a problem with their brain and they don't think well. They cannot think well. So because they cannot think well, they don't have the capacity. The potential is not there. Okay? How do you learn to narrate a story like me? Start narrating. You have to tell a bunch of stories, you know? Teaching is storytelling. A lot of it is storytelling. When I talk, when I speak, I try to use words that you can see. If I draw the picture in my head, then you can draw the picture in yours. So when I speak, my words create images in my mind, and those images are very clear. And if my images are clear, then my words will be clear. And then you can create the same image in your head so that you can understand. That's what the word understand means. Understand is a funny word because why under? What are we standing under? You're not standing under anything when you understand. The word under, a long time ago, it had another meaning. Now, the meaning of under means beneath, right? So I'm writing my name, and then I'm going to underline it, to underline, to put a line under it. But the word understand does not mean under. Under, a long time ago, meant in the middle of. In the middle of or in the midst of. So when you understand something, it's like you're in the middle of it and you can see it clearly. So that's why I'm saying when I speak, I try to use words that I can see. Because if I can see it clearly, then you can see it clearly. And then you're in the middle seeing. You're understanding. That's what understand means. To be in the middle of it so that you understand it. Okay? Imagine there's no countries. It's easy if you try. That's right. Yeah. Are there cultural lines? Yes and no. Cultural lines those are not fixed lines. Culture is anything that you want it to be. So put it this way. 我会说中文，我也喜欢吃中国的食物，这是中国的文化，所以我不可以吗？不行，不是，我可以，你也可以吃汉堡。Right? And you listen to rock music. You listen to rock music sometime. Is that your music? No. But you listen to it. Right? So think about it, guys. Culture has changed. Culture does change. And how does culture change? It changes because people interact. So the word alphabet, what is alphabet? Alpha, beta, that's Greek. And the word shampoo, when you shampoo your hair, that's Hindi. And when you do algebra or drink alcohol, that's Arabic. And when you go to a restaurant, that's French, or a cafe, that's French. But if you go to a cafeteria, that's Spanish. So, are there cultural lines? I don't know. Are there? You watch American movies. You watch American TV shows. I watch Chinese dramas and Korean dramas. And I eat Chinese food. And, right? So, are there? The cultural lines are not fixed. Nobody told me you're not allowed to eat Chinese food. You're an American. You can't do that. You're not allowed to listen to Chinese music. You're not allowed to do that because you're not a Chinese person. No, I can do that. I can appreciate your culture because your culture is my culture. We live on Earth. We're humans. We have the human culture. So, I study words from Confucius because great words have no country. I eat delicious foods because delicious comes from everywhere. I listen to music from any place because Duke Ellington is one of the most famous musicians of all time. And he said, there are only two kinds of music, good music and the other kind. Okay, so culture can be appreciated by anyone because culture is a human thing. Okay? Okay. What about American food? What's the best American food in my opinion? Well, American food, it's a hard thing to talk about because most of the foods that we do have some kind of a root someplace else. So hamburgers are very American, right? But the hamburger is named for the city of Hamburg, Germany. Right? It has German roots. And French fries, we love French fries, and they say they're French, but they're not French. They're Belgian. But Americans make them, and they're famous here, right? But do you know what the three most famous foods in America, if you get fast food, we do eat a lot of hamburgers. Everybody knows that. We do eat hamburgers. That's true. But we also eat a lot of pizza and Chinese food. Chinese food is one of the most famous foods here. We eat it a lot. Now, it's not traditional Chinese food most of the time. It's changed a little bit. It's American Chinese food. But it's still Chinese people making it. All right? How long have I been teaching? Liz, I have been teaching since 1994. I have been teaching English since 2009. I have been teaching online here in live streams for about 5 years. Since about 2021? Yeah, something like that. Hello, Esther. How are you? Hello, Joshua. Why do you understand me? Okay, there are many reasons why you understand me, but the first reason is very simple. I am an English teacher. You understand me because it's my job. Okay? And because I try to speak clearly. I taught children in a foreign country. When you teach children in a foreign country, you learn how to speak slowly and clearly and simply. So, I speak slowly and simply and clearly because that works. All right? But also, I overpronounce everything. I try to articulate my language much more than most people do. Okay? Almost everyone you see will not move their mouths as much as I do. That's on purpose, because I want it to be as clear as possible. But also, one more reason, because I am a musician. It is my job also. I'm a teacher, an English teacher, but I am also a drummer and musician. I've been doing that much longer. And I know about good sound quality, so I use the best equipment that you can. So I try to speak as well as I possibly can, but I'm also using the same microphone that CNN uses. Okay? How many languages can I speak? I can speak English, and I tell everybody that I speak really bad Chinese really well. So I speak Chinese pretty well, but it's like my Chinese. Like I'm self taught. So my Chinese is very weird often. Most people seem to think it's okay, so I don't worry about it. But I speak English and I speak Chinese. I know a little bit about many other languages because you learn a lot. When you're teaching language, you do learn. So I've learned a little bit about many languages: Latin, Italian, French, German, Spanish, Russian, Japanese, Chinese, whatever. How are the Reds doing? I don't know. I don't really follow. I don't really follow sports at all anymore. Why do other people not speak clearly? Well, that's because language is something that you learn a long time ago. They teach it to you in school, and then you forget all of the rules. Everybody does. So you learned Korean, but then you forget all the rules so that you know them, but you can't teach them. Right? You learned Russian, so you know all the rules, but you can't really teach them. Right? So everybody understands that language is something that you take for granted. That if you don't try to care about it, then you won't care about it. And so when you go on Facebook, you'll see nobody cares. They're all using terrible language, terrible English, because they don't care. So it starts with caring about your language. Okay? And other people don't care because they just don't have a need to care. All right? How do I speak English and Chinese? Or do I? Yes, I do. I do. I speak English and Chinese. Yeah. Okay, so if you are new, then you need to get my file, and I'll give it to you right here. If you don't know who I am and you've never been here before, then go click that link, copy it, and paste it, and open it in your browser. And that will give you everything about me. It's this file right here. Okay? I'm going to show it to you. All right, look. Hello, new friend. Welcome to my English online classroom. I'm Teacher Mark, an American TEFL certified English teacher with 17 plus years of experience teaching English. I am one of the most followed accounts on HelloTalk. Okay, and you can find out about my experience, and you can find out about what I do here, and you can find out about when I'm here. Here's my schedule. You can find my YouTube channel, you can find my website, and you can find my blog. And I also gave you 4 articles to read. I gave you 4 articles. This one is about how to think in English. This one is about the 8 parts of language. This one is about how to learn vocabulary better. And this one is about how to ask the right questions. If you want to learn, you must ask the right questions. Okay? Linda, I'll tell you what, Linda. Let me think. If you, if you can't open the file and you have WeChat, then you can go to WeChat and search for me. Search for that in the search bar, and you can add me, and then I can send it to you in WeChat. Okay? I'm pretty sure I can do that. I'm going to try to see if I can post it. I'm going to try to figure out if I can post it on Little Red Book or one of the other Chinese sites so that my Chinese followers can go there. Okay. Phrasal verbs. Yeah, phrasal verbs are hard. How to succeed with them? I have a page for it. Let me see if I can find that page. There it is. So phrasal verbs are hard because phrasal verbs are what I call improvised language. It means that we have one word like the word get, and then you have another word like the word ahead. And you put those two together, and it now has a slightly different meaning somehow. Okay? So, to get over, get has one meaning, over has another meaning, get over has a different meaning. So, the problem is there is no pattern. There is no way to just say, oh, it always works like this. No, it never works like that. They're all unique. So, what you need to do is choose one phrasal verb. Choose one verb, like the verb get, right? Choose the word get, and then I want you to look for all the phrasal verbs that have get in them and look at them, okay? And then search for the phrasal verbs that seem like they'll be useful to you. So not, like, for example, the link I just gave you, there are 66 different ways to use get. At least 66 different ways to use get. But do you need all of them? No, you don't need all of them. So what I would do is go look through them and then see which ones are like, oh, that's a good one. I like that one. Get along with. Does he get along well with others? That means, is he nice? Is he friendly? Do they get along well? Right? That's a good one. Oh, I'll remember that. I need that. I could use that. So search for one word like get, then find all the phrasal verbs that have that, then search for the ones that you think are useful and use those. Okay? Let me see. Okay, I got 2 requests here from people, so that's weird. Okay, after I finish here, I'll send you the file. Okay, so give me a few minutes to finish up here, and then I'll send you the file. Okay? And on that note, I am done. It's been 2 hours and 6 minutes, 2 hours and 7 minutes, so I'm tired. I need to take a break. I'm going to get something to eat and then practice some drums, and then I need to do some reading. I need to do some reading. Do you need to do some reading? I think you do. You do need to do some reading. Did you know you need to do some reading? You do. If you are weak, it's because you don't care. If you care, then you will read, and then you won't be weak. All right? All right. No, I must go. I do need to go. Sometimes I'm here too long, but I appreciate that you want me to stay. But come back next time. Come back next time, okay? Once again, if you don't know who I am, you should follow me here. This is my YouTube channel. This is my website. And this is my blog. Okay? And I'm usually here Monday through Friday. Usually. But sometimes I need a break. Sometimes I just am too busy. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. Look who's here. Lena. Hello, Lena. Long time no see. And Zoe, too. Okay. Well, thank you, guys. I'll see you guys next time.